Hey, it's your boy Easy, and on today's episode of Easy Opens, we're going to be taking a look at SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Evil. Alright, so here is SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Evil. Kamen Rider Evil appeared in the 36th Kamen Rider series, Kamen Rider Revice, which ran from September 2021 to August of 2022. The show's main theme is family, the ones we're born into and the ones that we choose. This particular character is Daiji Iragashi, who is the main character's younger brother and technically the second rider in the series. More specifically, though, this suit is worn by Daiji while he's possessed by his inner demon known as Kagero. And the suit is loosely based on a bat motif. Now, you might be wondering why I don't have a picture of him in the box, and that's because I got this figure in a deal on eBay used. And didn't come in the box. So I just wanted this figure so badly, and the price was too good. And I was like, you know what? As much as I love boxes, I can do without it. But regardless of all that, let's go ahead and take a look and see what we think about Kamen Rider Evil. So I love the Evil suit so freaking much. There's just something about like the colors and just the way they work together, and I don't know, the whole suit design is simple, but still cool. Like it feels like it's kind of just cobbled together, but at the same time, it's cohesive, if that makes any sense. And another thing is that I think that the eyes, it just looks like they're kind of like painted on, like spray painted on or something like that. I don't know. There's just something about the way that the splashes of color on this character, it just looks so cool and just kind of like just thrown together, and I absolutely love it. I think it's just a really awesome suit and definitely one of my favorites from this series. But then I'm also of two minds about the belt. On the one hand, I think I prefer the rider belts to be belts, like to stay where they're at, and or maybe be like another character, like as in Kiva or Drive. I'm okay with that, with them being like sentient beings, but I'm not sure how I feel about it being used as a weapon. On the one hand, I love it because it's cool and it's different and it's just neat. But on the other hand, I'm like, I don't know, I kind of like keeping it traditional. But I mean, after 36 series of Kamen Rider, you got to do something to spice it up, and so your mileage may vary with that. But regardless, it's still pretty cool that he does it. Now, this figure also comes with the pieces to switch into a jackal motif, which is really awesome. And I absolutely love that they included it. I don't remember where this suit came from because it's been a minute since I've watched Revice. I think that it was in like a special episode or a movie or V Cinema or whatever they're called. And so it's probably from something like that. But nevertheless, very happy that they give us these extra parts to switch them out if we wanted to. And I don't know, I'm just always a fan of getting more accessories for the price that we're paying for these things. So that's really rad. This figure also comes with 10 interchangeable hands, the Evil Blade, the Bat Vice Stamp, the Jackal Vice Stamp, the Proto Vice Stamp, and the Oso Tutoru Hammer 50. All right, so now let's take a look at the articulation you're going to get out of Kamen Rider Evil. So starting at the head, you're going to be impeded immediately by this high collar. So you can get it 360, but you're going to have to wiggle it around. But thankfully, the head is on a ball joint, and I believe the neck is also on a ball joint. So there's a ton of wiggle room in there, so that's legit. They can look up a little bit. They can look down a lot. Side-to-side action, all kinds of stuff if you need it. You got 360 at the shoulder, as well as a hinge, so it goes in and out, or up and down, I should say. And you do have this shoulder piece, this armor piece to look out for that could pop off, so be careful of that. You got 360 at the bicep. You got double jointed elbows, but this little piece is a floating piece, and it can be a pain, so just be mindful of that. You also have interchangeable hands that go on a ball joint, so you got wiggle room, 360, all kinds of movement there in the wrist. You got a ball joint for the chest, which is awesome, and then you got 360. You got 360 at the waist. You also have some pretty good split action going on. And then you can also take these down a little bit. I don't know if you can see that very well in the video, but you can take them down the legs to get a little bit more range of motion if need be. And you got some thigh swivel right here, which is awesome. Double jointed knees, which is always cool. And then you got the ankle rocker joint there. So you got 360 at the ankle, as well as some side to side action back and forth, and a toe joint if you need it. And I do believe that is all the articulation you're going to get out of Kamen Rider. Let me get his leg in there. There we go. Kamen Rider Evil. All right, so according to the Kamen Rider Wiki, Kamen Rider Evil stands at about 6'8" and weighs around 234 pounds. This figure stands around 6 3/4 inches tall and weighs about 2 ounces. So now let's see how he measures up to some other figures you might have in your collection. All right, here he is with SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Revy and Kamen Rider Vice. Here he is next to SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Cross Z. Here he is next to Figma's Zelda and Jazzware's Beef Boss. Here he is with SH Figuarts Chun-Li and Jada Toys Fei Long. Here he is with the NECA knockoff colored bandana Michelangelo figure and NECA's 1987 animated series Raphael figure. Here he is next to Masters of the Universe Classics Merman and Jazzware's Agent Peely. Here he is next to Marvel Legends Wolverine and Hasbro's Lightning Collection Blue Centurion. Here he is next to SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Geats and Kamen Rider 01. Kamen Rider Vice is one of my favorite Rider series. I just loved the family dynamic and all the stuff they did with the demons I thought was really neat, and it just kept me entertained and made me feel good, and there was like a just a wholesomeness and just like, I don't know, like a good feeling kind of TV show that, like, if I was in a bad mood, I'd put that on and it just kind of like give me some good feelings. And that being said, the character of Daiji Iragashi, who is the eldest brother of the Iragashi family, if I'm not mistaken, is an okay character. He's fine. I appreciate him just as his normal self. He's fine. However, when he gets possessed by his demon Kagero, he becomes one of my favorite characters on the show because he turns into this, like, I don't know, this character of like chaos that's like, you know, a demon, so he's mischievous, but like there's still like something good about him too, but like, I don't know, there's like a duality in there on top of the duality of him being possessed, and there's just layers there, if you will. And I just really appreciate that character, especially when he's possessed by his demon, and when he can transform into Kamen Rider Evil. And I think SH Figuarts did a really freaking good job bringing this figure from screen to our shelves. This thing looks just dead on, like, accurate to what we saw on the screen. It's awesome. And on top of all the character stuff, I am a big fan of this suit. I don't really know why, though, because it does kind of feel like it's cobbled together. It almost feels as if it wasn't supposed to be for this series, or as if it was an early design for this series and they decided to go somewhere else or something. Kind of curious about that. I could look that up, but I kind of like to keep the mystery a little bit for as long as I can until someone tells me otherwise. But regardless, it still looks really cool, and there's something captivating about it to me that, I don't know, I think it's in the head sculpt, and more so the paint on the head. The helmet has this predominantly black upper part that goes into the horn, and then the kind of greenish flames for eyes just looks amazing. And then the silver armor on the chin kind of divots in where the mouth is to give it kind of like teeth almost. And then I'm also a big fan of zippers. I don't know if that's because of like growing up in the 80s with Michael Jackson and his zipper jacket, or if there's something else that I don't know that has influenced me. But I really just love the fact that he has a zipper on his chest. But I didn't realize until doing this final part of the review that the actual suit has, it's not a glove, but it's more like a a forearm kind of like sheath, I guess. I don't know. There's probably a technical term for it. I just can't think of it right now. But it runs a zipper up from the middle of the forearm up into the middle of the bicep. And Figuarts did a pretty cool thing where they also included that zipper part, but it's a little understated because it's broken up by the joint. However, to keep the fluidity of that piece of his suit, they made the top part of that a floating piece. And from a creative, like, engineering side, I guess, that's a neat idea and in a really cool way to execute that. It does, since it's a floating piece, it does kind of take away a little bit of the playability for me, but very minorly, only because I feel like I'm going to break it and I don't want to. So, like, it feels kind of just a little too loose. I don't know. It's just something I noticed. It still looks fantastic, but it's just something that kind of makes me like a little bit more apprehensive about moving him around too much. Other than that, I really dig the color scheme on this character, and I don't know, there's something about it that I really love. I think it's the eyes, and I think that it might remind me of Venom a little bit, and that's probably where I'm finding the genesis of my appreciation for this character. Also, a high collar that doesn't impede head articulation is, clutch. Like, that's super cool. Other than that, this figure looks and feels fantastic. It plays great, and it goes really well with the other SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Revised figures, as well as just other Kamen Rider figures. He just looks so cool, and he looks just, I don't know, just so menacing. I just really dig how, like, kind of evil they made him look. And I totally dig it. And despite the suit being a little weird, I mean, it's still all works for me. So if you're a fan of SH Figuarts Kamen Rider figures, you're going to love this figure. If you're collecting the Revice figures from Figuarts, then you're definitely going to want to pick this up. Not going to be disappointed at all. And if you collect action figures that have a lot of zippers on them, then he's got at least, I don't know, 3? Oh no, he's got 2 more on the on his legs, on the sides of his knees. Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, so I think he's got 5 now. So yeah, if you're collecting figures with zippers, he's got 5 right here. So that'll get you. So he'll fit in on that shelf definitely. Or if you just have a shelf of action figures whose name is literally evil, then Kamen Rider Evil will fit right in. All right, that's going to do it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button. If you want to see more from me, hit subscribe and let me know in the comments how many zippers is too many zippers and how high is too high for a collar. And until then, else time.